spot in the points right now, and this is his best chance that I've seen he's going to have to win a World Superbike Championship.
Well, and Haslam, too, was so good in race number 1. That Suzuki of his, pretty stout bike. And, of course, he's, made some adjustments in between races. He might have something to say here.
He definitely had a little issue in the rear. His bike spun the tire up a whole bunch, so maybe he's adjusted that and to get this Suzuki up front right here.
There you see Haslam on the 91 ready to go. Just off to the top of the screen, you see the 2010 American flags blowing in the breeze on this Memorial Day holiday. Here we go, racing with race number 2. Who's gonna get to turn 1? It's a drag race between Biaggi and Checa. Baltimore as they scream down the front straightaway.
Look, Checa's going to jump up the inside. He's not going to let Max have that.
Max got it.
Out-dragged him to the first turn. Checa took it back with authority as he peels off into turn 2 with Max and his teammate right there. And look at Troy Corser up the inside, jumped into 3rd.
Corser with another rocket start on the BMW. And so did his teammate, Ruben Chaus. So they both got great starts in the Beamers.
Wow, that's really impressive. I mean, Troy's buried in the back of the pack and had to come up in there. Camille looks up the inside again. Troy falls in behind Max Biaggi, kind of where he started the race last time. He's running good, and see if he can get that BMW to stay up front this time.
Corser came from the 4th row, Scott. That is a tremendous jump, and it also says a lot about the horsepower of that BMW, that from the start, from a standing start to turn 1, he can rocket past so many bikes.
Run together down the front straightaway.
Approaching 200 miles an hour as they storm down this very long straightaway. Biaggi hard on the binders. There's Corser.
Did you see the gap that the Aprilia put on that BMW? That thing's strong on the straightaway, man. They got their hands full with that guy, but even more so with number 7, Carlos Checa, out front doing good. You can see the front end of that BMW chattering as he pitched it into turn 2 right there. So these guys all got their hands full with this racetrack. It's gotten a little rough over the years, so got to be careful in the early stages with a full load of fuel, new tires. Got to be careful.
Well, that's got to be a sketchy feeling when you're on the binders and that front end is chattering and you're trying to woe it down from almost 200 miles an hour. Cutting it out. What a tough rider. Johnny Ray having at it. Jonathan Ray running 6th right now on bike 65. There you see him in the pack. On the brakes right now. Crutchlow coming up the inside on the 35. The Yamaha trying to get inside of the Honda, can't get it done at 1.
I'll tell you what, these Aprilias are crushing these guys down the front straightaway with their top speed. Biaggi 308 on the board to Corser's 300. So Corser's going to have an uphill battle to run Max Biaggi down and even try to make a move on him. But these Aprilias definitely got the top speed over everybody out here but Carlos Checa. He's got it figured out in the corners.
And again, that's in kilometers, so that's just a tick under 200 miles an hour.
Leon
fighting it out with Haslam.
And yeah, Haga's definitely been around a long time, and I think like last year took a lot out of him. You know, Ben Spies came over, pulled the carpet right out from under him when he felt this was his only chance to win. Look at Tozen taking a look on Haga up there, not going to happen right there. So yeah, Haga's, you can see it in his face. He's been around a while, and it's taking its toll on him. But nevertheless, Nitro Nori Haga, he's a battler, man. He's going to fight to the end.
Ray on that Honda, trying to find a way around Haga. Ray in the green and white and black leathers.
You can see right there, Haga tried to get out. Checa's out again.
A problem for Checa. Could it be the same issue? The Ducati slowing once again. You saw Biaggi go by. He's looking at his throttle and shaking his head, Scott. The fly-by-wire system must have failed him again.
Wow, that's unbelievable. You'd think that they'd have a handle on this by now. I mean, you don't see this normally. You rarely see mechanicals in this deal. But all the electronics, you know, that's a whole different deal for me from when I rode, so I can't say much about it. But unfortunately for Checa, had a great run going. Max Biaggi handed another gift so far at Troy.
6 World Superbike races here. Oh, and another rider down. It's the 91 of Haslam. Oh, this will definitely impact the championship now if Haslam is out and Biaggi sweeps the weekend with wins.
I tell you what, Max Biaggi, this is his weekend so far. Here we go, take another look. We're in the turn 5 area right here. Wait a minute. Yeah, high-sided him off right there. That's kind of rare on these bikes dealing with the traction control that they have. You know, normally it'll catch the bike from doing that, but
in Stansbury Mountains, there's Troy Corser. And he could put that BMW second up on the podium today. If he can hang in there, if he gets a little luck, maybe BMW's first win. Crutchlow, the reigning world Supersport champ on a Yamaha.
Corser was able to hold that gap last time. It had dropped a couple of tenths 2 laps ago. Cammy made a run at him a little bit, and I think Troy got his pit board, and he's pulled that 2 tenths back out. But I tell you, hopefully this BMW will be able to last the race. Normally we see him start good and kind of fade out as the race goes on. But I know Troy, like I said, he's in good shape this year. He's got a great training program going. The team, the bike, everything's getting better. But the Aprilia, we know how fast that bike is. As he sees Max Biaggi off in the distance, as Cammy is making a run on him from behind.
The Aprilia, by the way, they're second in the Manufacturers' Championship to Suzuki, but they're only 9 points back. So this is a big weekend for them with Biaggi running the way he is. Ducati came into the weekend third with Honda fourth, Yamaha fifth, BMW and Kawasaki are rounding out the 7 different brands of motorcycles competing in World Superbike this season. Oh, another rider down. Is that Roger Lee Hayden?
I believe it is.
Yep, and Roger was running 17th. On his birthday, too. I talked with his dad, Earl, quite a bit yesterday. He's actually living in Lake Como, Italy, with Ben Spies, as we take a look at what happened to him, just low-sided.
A long season gets longer.
Yeah, but Earl was telling me a lot of this season is about learn, and survive. And that's what you got to do when you make that first foray into a big tour like this. It's the first time he's raced any series where either one of his brothers
going here and then to not go over there and take a chance and learn all these tracks.
Here's how Camier got around Chouse. Watch the 2.
Troy Corser.
Oh, I'm sorry, Corser, yes.
I didn't know this happened, but now down into turn 5, that hard braking zone, one of the better spots on the track to make that happen. You can see that Beamer searching for grip as he comes off that corner right now. And Camier, he's in second, and his teammates in first. So Aprilia really got to be happy right now. Consistency with the rear end of that BMW has troubled him throughout this year.
Do you think it's getting worse as they go deeper into the race, too? Because he starts off like a rocket. And now as he gets past the halfway point, as you can see here, it seems to be trailing away from side of the top 10. Beginning with James Toseland in 6th on bike number 52, right there. Oh, and down he goes! Toseland loses the front end and slides off. Oh, heartbreak for Toseland, who is running 6th here well past the midpoint of this race. Better than he had in race 1 where he finished 9th. After 2 years at MotoGP, he comes back to World Superbike.
Well, this is a corner right here, turn 6, where you really barrel in there pretty hard and you trail the brake all the way into the apex and then past it even somewhat. And you could see James as he just put a little bit too much pressure on that front tire, and they can only hold so much. And here's another look as we look at it from behind. You can see him, he's spot on line, looks like, just a little bit hot, a little bit too much brake, a little bit too much lean angle, and Yamaha's out of the race.
He has stormed down the front straightaway here, and it looks like only 2 other riders, Tooele and Toseland, have matched that number. Of course, that's probably in draft as well, as opposed to Biaggi, who's out there all by himself as we look at Corser. Biaggi's best finish in the points was a 3rd in World Superbike competition back in 2007, and he could find himself pretty soon, maybe even at the end of today, in the top of the points lead. Oh, Smurs is off. Jakob Smurs, who had major oil issues in race 1, sees race 2 come to an end as well. Not sure what the problem is this time. Let's see. No, that's just watching Haga get back around Corser.
Just your typical draft late brake maneuver right there as he stuck it in the inside down there in turn 1, and as they come back down the long straightaway.
Finishing 1 and 2 here today at Miller in race number 2.
You got to take that help. You embrace it. You take these wins any way you can get them. It doesn't matter how far you win them by, as long as you win them.
Well, here he comes to the checkered flag for the 2nd time today. Max Biaggi wins for Aprilia at Miller Motorsports Park. Luigi Dalligna celebrating, the team manager, along with the rest of the Aprilia Alitalia racing team on a big day here in the States. The only